Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Look Forward. I'm your host Jay. I'm here with my co-host Brad.
Oh, thank God that we have a much less news than we had last week. Last week was a marathon. This will be a sprint.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a bit of a light week, which always makes me very scared for what next week is. like, oh boy, here we go. Like, oh, did you have a nice week off? Cool. Now here's all the hell coming back. Yeah, a little bit of a light week, so let's get right into it. Michael Cohen took the stand in the hush money trial. By the way, I did see, correct me if I'm wrong, the Trump's team has rested their case. They're done.
Yes. So Cohen took the stand. He was on the stand most of last week. First with the prosecution, and then he's been cross-examined between Thursday and today. By all accounts, he held himself up pretty well. Obviously, when you put a guy like Michael Cohen on the witness stand as the prosecution, that's not an ideal witness, considering that he's been convicted of lying to Congress, considering that he, has been to prison about this. But he's also the key witness in the case because he was the guy that was quote unquote in the room when it all happened. And by all accounts from people in the courtroom, he was pretty affable. He was a pretty charming witness. Like the jury was paying attention to him. The defense didn't do a fantastic job of really sticking anything to him. Actually, like weirdly, the first thing that they did on cross is Trump's lawyer called out something that Michael Cohen said on TikTok about him, about the lawyer, and like got the judge to immediately like call a sidebar and be like, "Why are you making this about you? Like, you should be defending your client. Like what he said about you has nothing to do with any of this shit. Like, what are you doing?"
Really, the best money can buy.
Yeah, well, just wait until we get to more about that. So again, they were just trying to poke holes, saying like he was a liar, he was a rogue agent, he did this on his own, like Trump had no oversight over this, blah 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 blah. And then to your point, so the prosecution rested their case today after redirecting Michael Cohen when the defense was done with him, and the defense brought two witnesses forward, both of them rebuttal witnesses to Michael Cohen. One of them was a guy named David Sitko, who I don't know who he is or what he does. But the other one was Robert Costello, who is a lawyer that came up a lot in Michael Cohen's testimony, because he was basically the guy that was advising Cohen when Cohen was being charged with the crimes that he was being charged with in relation to this case. And he was doing like the mob. And in Cohen's testimony, he talked about how Robert Costello was doing like the mob lawyer thing of like, oh, just keep your mouth shut and we'll take care of you. Like, you don't have to worry about it, this, that, or the other thing. And he apparently, well, not apparently, this happened. Like on the stand, Costello was talking over the judge and talking through objections that the judge was sustaining, that the prosecution was objecting, and he was holding up those objections. And Costello kept talking over him to the point where the judge, Juan Marchand, stopped the trial, cleared the courtroom to admonish Costello, and Costello was acting like indignant towards the judge, which again, like if you're only going to have a couple witnesses, not exactly the best foot forward by the defense. Yeah, and to your point,
he was rolling his eyes.
Yeah, like waving his hand at the judge at his instructions, and was staring down the judge from the witness stand to the point where like Marchand remarked about that audibly in the courtroom. And again, like I said, he cleared the gallery, cleared the jury so that he could admonish Costello. And then to your point, like those are the only two witnesses the defense had to present. They rested their case as well, because they're sure shit not going to put their client on the stand and open him up to cross-examination. That would be a terrible idea.
Yeah. Trump said, "Oh, I'm going to testify. I want to testify." Dude, no lawyer worth their salt is going to let that psychopath get up there. No way.
Yeah.
No way.
So according to the judge, closing arguments are probably scheduled for next week, and then it gets handed off to the jury. So,
I mean, here's the thing. Where do you think this is going? Do you think it's a hung jury, or you think it's he's fine?
Well, I mean, so again, we're not in the courtroom. We can only rely on reporting because they don't broadcast or televise the hearings. Based on what legal experts that have been in the courtroom have been saying, the prosecution laid out their case pretty well. The Trump team didn't do a great job of poking holes in it, right? The only chance that they have is if they can get one juror to reasonably doubt that Trump knew what the money was for, and that he was thinking about the election as part of his calculus as to why he wanted to keep it hidden. That was one of the other trial strategies, is that his team was trying to be like, oh, he was trying to protect his family from embarrassment and trying to, keep Melania from finding out. And it was pretty clear from the testimony that was not the case.
He was trying to keep Melania from finding out. Let's start a shell company.
Right.
Like, dude, come on, man. Because, if you wanted to keep Melania from knowing, look, by the way, I'm sure he definitely wanted Melania to not know that. But if that's what you wanted to do, you'd have just paid her off out of pocket and not tried to write the shit off. Right. You only tried to write it off because you're a cheapskate and you wanted to try to suppress it. Come on. That's just nonsense.
Really what the trial comes down to is how much does the jury believe that Michael Cohen was telling the truth. It really does rest on his testimony.
And the tapes, by the way. And the tapes.
Yeah. Again, I think that the way, the story that the prosecution told from the start, putting David Pecker on the stand and kind of describing how the catch and kill scheme would work and how Trump had employed it to his advantage, to get the jury to understand, hey, this is a thing that this guy does. Right. And all of a sudden, we wouldn't front the money for him anymore. So he had to, potentially go through other means. And again, I think that, what they did was smart, bringing on witnesses at first who actually like Donald Trump, who actually still said that no, I like him. He's a good guy. We get along well. But but they're still testifying against him because they're, they have damning information to levy against him. So we'll see.
The Hope Hicks being the biggest one of those.
Yeah. But again, it just takes one person on that jury to just be obstinate to throw a wrench in the works. He's not getting acquitted. That I can 100% say.
Never.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. The information seems pretty definitive. I feel like if this comes down that he's found guilty, he should be, by the way, but if he is found guilty, I feel like the number one narrative here is it's not illegal to have an affair. And I just want to say, before that all comes out, that's not why he's on trial. It's not. He's not on trial for having sex with Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal. That's not the issue. The issue is suppressing those stories and paying to suppress those stories and having a shell company to pay this money and all this other stuff so that it could be hidden so that it would not affect the election. Right?
That's the other
crux of the issue.
That's the other weird thing, is that was still one of the lines that the defense was trying to trot out. They were like, "Oh, this affair never, this tryst never actually happened," and we're like, "Guys, we're so far past that at this point.
Cares.
That's
right. Nobody cares. It's irrelevant." Also, the number one question in this trial should be, why on earth would Michael Cohen pay $130,000 to Stormy Daniels out of the goodness of his heart, for his buddy to fuck this woman?
Well, and to me too, the most damning thing is that they, if you're just going to pay him back $130,000 like you do on the table, the fact that he laundered it through his company and literally, as I heard Chris Hayes describe it, had to pay the crime tax on the money by basically, instead of just giving Cohen back $130,000, they actually had to gross him. They had to gross him $430,000 because of taxes. Because since they were doing it through the company, for him to net $130K, they had to pay him way more than they would have had to normally. just to keep this shit under wraps.
Right. So why would they pay him then? Right? Like why would you get that increase? Again, if it was just about covering the shit for your wife to not find out, you'd have just paid the $130,000 out of your pocket and been done. Like you wouldn't have gone through all this rigmarole. There's only one reason to involve Michael Cohen in the business is because that is directly tied to your campaign. Like fundamentally, Michael Cohen being involved at all with the actual payment himself shows that the business is involved. Henceforth, it is only involved because of the campaign. If it was just like, hey man, like he's out here like fucking chicks and he doesn't want his wife to find out. Hey, he's got enough pocket change that he could have paid David Pecker and been like, hey, Pecker, get rid of this fucking story. Here's $130,000. Done.
Right.
Or paid her and it's like, hey, here's money, David Pecker, kill this story, we're done. But that's not what you did. You ran it through your business. And to me, anybody arguing this, why would they run it through the business? What is the other purpose? Well, he's a businessman. That's not a very good excuse. It's a very dumb one. Yeah. Like it's such an obvious story of his level of cheapness, right? That big time, and just his level of political corruption. Is that even with this story, he's like, I mean, I could do it on my own, but like, let me see if I can write it off. And like, he has to, because that's fundamentally who he is. So.
Yep. So again, it'd be interesting to see. I'm sure if he is convicted, then he will appeal. I don't really know what grounds he will be able to appeal on, because his counsel has done a really shit job of laying down appealable issues during the trial. So we'll have to see what happens. But maybe
he takes the Lord Helmet Spaceballs perspective. I'm surrounded by assholes. Like, I don't know. Like, that's what else do you have? Like,
I mean, ineffective counsel could very well be something that he's going to try to levy. I don't think it's going to work.
I mean, it's not going to work. But in fairness to him, it's not exactly wrong. Like, it's like, these guys fucking suck, bro. Like, yeah, well, you hired them. Like, you keep hiring these people. So I don't know. Time to bring back what's her face? Pretty over smart. Elaine Hobbs, right? It's time to bring her back.
Well, she's still busy trying to get that appeal happening for his for that money trial. So
yeah, girl, bye.
So like I said, it's been an interesting thing following that trial. Now, what also has been interesting, so we talked last week about how Rick Scott made an appearance outside the courtroom and was with Trump at the trial, saying the things that Trump only wishes that he could say, but cannot, because otherwise he will be found in contempt for violating the gag order that's been placed against him.
You mean Tim Scott?
No. Rick Scott was the first
Rick Scott? Oh, my God.
Yeah, Rick Scott was the first one. So, like, that was a one-off situation. But then all of a sudden, it's become like like people that believe in Islam traveling to Mecca. If you're a Republican with ambitions to advance in the Republican Party, you must make your pilgrimage to Trump's trial in New York so that you can support him in the gallery, and then also give speeches outside of the courtroom about how he's totally innocent and it's not fair that he's in here, and the courtroom is mentally draining for him, and it's so cold and it's depressing, and this is such an unfair way to treat the candidate. I mean, we've literally seen like Matt Gaetz, Andy Biggs, Lauren Boebert, Tim, like you said, Tim Scott, Vivek Ramaswamy, Mike Johnson, Doug Burgum, Byron Johnson, Tommy Tuberville. Like, the list just goes on and on and on as far as Republicans that have made their way to support Trump. Notably, aside from Eric,
this is the Veepstakes, right? Like, that's all.
It is. Well, it's definitely part of the Veepstakes. Notably, aside from Eric, who's shown up for several days of trial, none of his family members coming to support him in the courtroom.
I mean, it's not a good look, right? Like, Dad, were you really?
I mean, if he was not guilty, like if he was truly innocent, you'd want to stand by.
No, they.
But or Jay, is it that actually his true family is standing by his side, the Republican Party?
That's a mean thing to say. It's accurate, but it's a mean thing.
So again, these guys have been going up there. They've been making sure to, weirdly, they're all dressing the same way as him. Like they're all wearing like the dark blue suit, red tie, white shirt combination. When they I think saw on MSNBC like the Trump cosplay. They were all.
God, they are.
They're all doing it. It's weird.
It's like an AI image. Like what does a Republican like political based cult look like? And it's like there's Trump in all of these these shitty copies of a shitty.
Yeah, they're all in uniform. And again, just like talking about like how the judge is corrupt and the witnesses are corrupt and the judge's daughter is corrupt and the prosecutor's wife is corrupt and it's a sham and no real American wants to see Trump on trial and blah de blah de blah de blah. I mean, Mike Johnson had to go there just to, I guess, thank Trump for not tanking his speakership because Trump could have killed him if he'd wanted to. But he declined to wait until after the vote had already happened. It's really pathetic, honestly. Like it's honestly like one of the most pathetic. Again, genuflecting to the dear leader that you could possibly see. Okay. I really could not imagine if the shoe was on the other foot. I cannot imagine Democrats flocking en masse to sit in court.
No, like if Joe Biden got busted for sleeping with like a porn star, that would be
well. And it's actually really funny because the point was made that like a lot of Michael Cohen, the second day of his direct examination by the prosecution, was really centered around like what happens when you follow Trump like into the abyss, basically, like how it ruins your life personally. Meanwhile, all of these guys that are like ambitiously trying to climb the ladder in Republican politics are sitting there listening to the story.
Well, now, look, what is more embarrassing, right? You said that this is pretty embarrassing. I would agree with you. What is more embarrassing, this or Trump supporters literally showing up in Trump diapers at the rallies now? Like that's the thing, by the way. I'm not. Yeah.
What is? I want to table that because I want to discuss that a little bit more.
Why?
I mean, it is pretty funny how Republicans love to talk about how, again, government does nothing and the government doesn't work for you. Meanwhile, actual sitting congressmen are not in Washington. Instead, they're in New York watching this trial happen while the House and Senate are trying to do work, like while they're trying to pass legislation and work on bills and stuff like that.
But both sides. I don't know if you.
I don't know if you saw, but there was an oversight committee hearing. Actually, we'll talk about it later in the show because it comes up quite a bit. That they literally had to postpone until like 8:00 in the evening.
Yes.
Specifically because a lot of the people that sit on that committee were in New York earlier in the day, watching that there for the Trump trial.
Yeah.
And now here's the best part though. So Trump is not allowed to say anything disparaging about, witnesses, the judge, or not even the judge, but the judge's family, the prosecutor's family, the jury, anything like that, right? Because that's a violation of his gag order. Right. It's also a violation of the gag order to direct other people to make those statements for you. Reporters that were sitting behind Trump in the gallery reportedly saw him making notes, allegedly about what things that he wanted people to say on his behalf.
Yeah, very specifically, New York Magazine journalist Andrew Rice said that on MSNBC, that he did in fact see Trump editing as proceedings were ongoing during his hush money trial. What his Republican allies would later rant about on his behalf outside the courtroom. Such people as J.D. Vance, Tommy Tuberville, Doug Bergman, like you were saying, all of these people. with these fancy, lovely edited scripts, which I can only imagine Trump's edits. It's amazing. It's amazing that has not blown up in his face, and it absolutely should.
It should. I don't know how deep the judge is going to investigate those things. So he's probably not going to face any accountability for it, but he probably should, because Trump will find every way possible to subvert restrictions that are placed on him.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, this level of debasement by Republican senators and House members to go up there and be like, no, like you wrote in the docket, this here's the new fealty to the king type of thing. Like, oh, no, we're defending you. When people say that this is a cult, it's very easy to look at the supporters, right? Like like Joe Sixpack type of people are like, oh, Trump's great, here's the fucking hat and everything. These guys in Congress are somehow far worse, because they actually have their hands on the levers of power, and they still dress like him and wear the same hats and ties and suits and are literally trumpeting his words that he is editing for them to say. That is a level of pathetic behavior to me politically that I just cannot abide. That's just crazy.
Well, and again, there are certain people that are there that I already feel are pathetic. Like your Matt Gaetzes and your Andy Biggs and people like that. They're guys that we already know are the worst of the worst. Mm-hmm. The ones that are truly, truly pathetic are like your Doug Burgums and your Tim Scotts and the guys that are completely debasing themselves.
Your JD
specific. Well, I'm not. I mean, Vance was already there too, but Burnham and Scott, literally because he's probably just dangling that VP. Mm-hmm. That VP seat as a little prize. And Burnham especially was just a regular ass Republican in the debates. He fucking excoriated Trump while he was there. And he's just a regular fucking dude, was a governor, wasn't a fucking MAGA dude when he was governor. He was just a regular ass Republican governor. And of course he makes the pivot because, again, all you have to do is offer him that little bit of power, or not even offer him the power, the chance at the power. Yeah. Because I don't even know that Doug Bourbon's old white guy. What does Trump need with another old white guy at his side? Another Mike Pence.
Look, here's the thing. He's not going to pick you, dude. He's going to pick either a Tim Scott type. He's going to need something to rile up his base. And Tim Scott's a perfect choice because his bigoted base would be like, say he's not racist. It's not racist. It's yeah, until there's another January 6th. And he's like, yeah, you guys can kill Tim Scott. That's fine. I don't care. So it's not.
I can tell you based on some interviews that I've seen, it's certainly not going to be Vivek Ramaswamy, who Republicans aren't even pretending to have the veil of
crazy.
Oh, it wasn't just that. He went on I think he went on Newsmax or OAN or one of those channels as well, and got a lot of the same treatment.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah,
I love. There's something very special in my heart, seeing a minority who is conservative finding out that they're a minority. Wait, me? I thought I was on the team. And Coulter was you're not on the team. You'll never be on the team. Get the fuck out of here.
There's been a lot of that this week. There was a Jason Whitlock tweet about him finding out that he's not on the team. Truly at the end of the day. Oh, you hadn't? So did you hear about the golfer that got arrested on the way to the golf event because he went around a police barricade in his car because he thought it was just okay. So the number one ranked golfer in the world, who's a guy named Scott Scheffler, I think is his name, big burly white guy, right? And he was on his way in to the PGA event, and there was a blockade on the road, and he thought that it was security for the PGA event. So he's like, well, I'm a golfer, I'm going to go in. Well, it was actually cops, and a police officer was holding on, touching his car, and he was driving past the police officer, and they like pulled him out of his car and arrested him and took him to jail, like while a reporter was like right there recording all this stuff. And it was a huge story in the sports world. And Jason Whitlock, noted Black conservative commentator, put out a tweet that he said, well, all Scotty Scheffler had to do was comply. All he had to do is comply. Ooh. And I will tell you, the white conservative masses who like Jason Whitlock were not happy about that take. Yeah. And Jason Whitlock was like legitimately shocked. He's like, wait, how can you support me saying that about George Floyd, but not about this guy? And it's like, oh brother, you found out. Yeah. You found out today.
Yeah. Look, it's my favorite thing. Like just watching them be shocked. Wait, are you guys really as racist as everyone else says? Yeah, dude, they are. Like they are. I don't know why you thought, oh, right, because you were saying dirty shit about black people or about other minorities and stuff like that, and so you were accepted until you decided to criticize a white person, and then it all comes flowing to the front. But it won't change Vivek's viewpoint. It won't change Jason Whitlock's because they're getting paid, right? They get money.
Right.
But at the same time, it's fun to watch. I enjoy watching it. Candace Owens is enough.
All right, real quick, and I meant to bring this up with you on the show, and I forgot about it last week. What is the deal with the diapers? I don't understand what's going on here. So, like, is this them leaning into the fucking fact that liberals like make fun of Trump for being allegedly incontinent?
Yes.
So they're just leaning into it. They're
real men wear diapers.
They're taking it back as
bro. This is a weird one to take back. Like you're just a bunch of grown ass adults wearing diapers around. Yeah, no, this is
I don't
like this is a hill not worth dying on. Like Trump wears diapers.
It's a hill not worth climbing up.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Like if I'm facing down Diaper Hill, like you know what, I'm gonna take the L on this one. Like
you know what, you got it. You know what, run that meme, dude. There's nothing we're gonna do about that. Fuck it. Yeah. So instead of ignoring it or being like this is stupid, they're just like, we love wearing diapers. Real men wear diapers. Okay, cool, bro. Like, yeah, this is a thing. This is a thing that Trump.
Okay.
Again,
so again,
if Joe Biden was incontinent, I'm not going to wear a Joe Biden diaper and be like, "This is the guy I support." Hell yeah, I'd be like, "This is a problem," and I don't
like my stance would be actually I'd prefer a president that doesn't shit his pants.
They're like, nope, nope, double and triple down on shitting your pants. Like this is the Republican Party.
Okay,
writ large, cool. Dumb. Just dumb. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Amazing. Okay, so the next story. Holy shit. The next story, I'm sure many people have heard about it, but allow us to give our unique take on it. We're going to be dicks.
This is why you shouldn't have committee hearings at 10 o'clock at night.
No, this is why every committee hearing should be at 10 o'clock. Agree to disagree. So, look, this is... Marjorie Taylor Greene decided that she was gonna act in a way that I think maybe in rural Georgia she doesn't get to talk to a lot of black people. Shocking news.
Not in her district. I can tell you.
But I just want to say this to large Marge out there, and I know that you're listening, obviously. Bitch, this ain't 1825. Black people are not going to take your bullshit. Okay, like we don't have to. And also, I feel like you learned a hard lesson. You learned a real hard lesson, and it's wonderful to watch.
Well, and again, also like, you know, Jasmine Crockett is someone that's not gonna. We've seen doesn't suffer fools. Let's say, and here's the other problem. So the lead into this clip that we're gonna play is Marjorie Taylor Greene made a comment towards Crockett because Crockett was reading a document. And I can't remember if Greene made the comment out of order or if she was directly asked a question or something like that. Or no, it was during Greene's testimony, and I think Crockett made a point of order to call out something that she said incorrectly. And she said, and Greene said to Crockett that maybe your fake eyelashes are messing up what you're reading.
See, like, why'd you do that? Like, you didn't have to do that.
Well, and so here's the thing. So AOC and Crockett both appealed to Comer, who's the committee chairman, and was like, hey, like, that's impugning someone's character, which is against the rules. Like, you should strike her. You should strike her statement from the record, and she should be made to apologize, because they have decorum rules in Congress that you cannot you can't personally attack another member of Congress. This is why, like, you never hear someone call out like, oh, like Marjorie Taylor Greene's a bitch. Like, that's why you always hear people saying like, oh, you know, the gentlelady from Georgia, you know, blah 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 blah, like, because you literally can't. Yeah, like you literally can't impugn someone and refer to them by name, even because you're impugning their character. That's against the rules. So AOC and Crockett,
I would not be a good congressman.
No, neither would I at all.
Fuck you.
So they asked him to strike the remarks from the record and to instruct her to apologize. I think he might have struck them from the record, but he said that. But he didn't require an apology, and said that that basically that what she said did not impugn Crockett's character by his determination. And so Crockett had a hypothetical question that she wanted to ask him during the trial.
Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Ms. Greene, for 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Who's?
It's me.
Ms. Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
I'm trying to find clarification on what qualifies.
Chairman, motion to strike
I had no
those
idea
words.
what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just said
You just voted to do it.
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about it.
Voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do. So I'm trying to get
Ms.
clarification.
Crockett, you're not recognized. Ms.
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your yelling.
You don't want
calm
me to
down.
Be,
Can you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
All right, chair.
I don't know why
Okay.
you're
Order.
acting
Chair.
like-
Look. Let me tell you something. I'm a married man. I am not married to a black woman, but I have grown up with black women my entire life. One, you don't tell any woman who's mad to calm down. Disaster. That's the worst thing you can do. And you certainly don't tell a black woman to calm down, especially when you started the bullshit and now you opened up that floodgate. No, you deserve what you got. You're lucky that's all she said to you.
Right.
You're lucky that's all she said.
Oh, sorry. Like my cracking up was laughing at Jamie Raskin's reaction of burying his face. Face in his hands. I did enjoy Comer doing his best impression of the judge from My Cousin Vinny. The what? What?
I did not grow up in a city. I'm gonna need you to clarify. No, it was awesome. Look, I didn't realize this. I just saw this story. Jasmine Crockett has now trademarked bleach blonde, bad built butch body. She trademarked it, which is fucking hilarious. And she's saying that she is her recent trademark filing indicates Crockett's plan to use the phrase for clothing, including hats, hoodies, socks, and T-shirts, as well as political consultancy. She's releasing the Crockett Clapback collection, which is fucking awesome. Look, is this does this bring down the decorum of the House? 1,000%. Am I mad about that? Absolutely not. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. No, look, if you're gonna talk shit, get hit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you did it. You attacked her for no reason, right? For no reason. She wasn't talking about you. She's reading this part of the bill. and you decided to make a personal attack. All right, well, it is what it is. And look, here's how you know it pissed Marjorie Taylor Greene off and it got to her. She's put out multiple tweets like, well, I'm actually very fit, and here's a video of me doing CrossFit, and I'm almost 50 years old.
Watch me do CrossFit. Oh, it's going to be fucking awesome.
Look, Marjorie Taylor Greene is in great shape. Look, I would think that Hulk Hogan at 50 years old would be in great shape too. Look, that's what she looks like. She looks like Hulk Hogan.
She's got the same complexion, so.
Yeah, she's got the skin of a hot dog with blonde Chinese hair. It's crazy. Look, congratulations, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You're in great shape. Many Neanderthals were, so it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. So,
I mean, look. When pickings are slim and you have to hunt what you eat with smashing with a club. Yeah, you're gonna look pretty cut and strong.
You probably get those triceps. Probably get those triceps pretty cut, just hitting swamp rats or whatever it is you do down there. So no, good for her. Look, I got no problem with Jasmine Crockett's clapback. I thought it was hilarious. Do I need this all the time? No, I don't. But every once in a while, look, it's as Micah would say, you don't eat jelly beans for dinner every night, but every once in a while you want some jelly beans, and that's okay. So
that's right.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was fucking hilarious. And she hit that alliteration very quickly. Shout out to her for that. That was excellent.
You you wonder if she had that in the back pocket for a while, and we're just waiting to find an opportune time to unleash it. I also really enjoyed Crockett and Dan Goldman having a nice chuckle when Republicans got really indignant about about Crockett clapping back. That was very funny to me. Now, look, what I don't need is the reason that I was when I saw this story pop out is because I knew that cable news pundits would be flocking to all the shows to fucking clutch their pearls and talk about how undecorous it is that this is not the sort of behavior that we should be seeing in the House. Somehow Crockett's under more scrutiny for clapping back because, of course, the refs never catch the initial foul. They always catch the retaliation. That's well exemplified. Just stop clutching the pearls. And again, if you want to point to someone who has eroded the norms and accepted practices of our government, look on the right side of the aisle before you come. I mean, whining about Democrats. Honestly,
you can literally look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. She yelled during a State of the Union at Joe Biden. Her and that other howler monkey, what's her face?
Her ex-BFF.
What's old Beetlejuice jerk-off party?
Beetlejuice? Yeah, you can just call her Beetlejuice. It's fine. She was outside of court too, and was getting taunted by people shouting Beetlejuice at her. It was hilarious because
were they really?
Yeah, they really were. Hilarious. When she stepped up to the microphone, all the other people that were there walked away, and she was just screeching on the mic by herself, and people were just shouting Beetlejuice at her. It was very, very funny.
Yeah, if you say, a lot of people don't know this, if you yell Beetlejuice 3 times at Lauren Boebert, a ghost comes out of a man's penis that she's jerking off. I don't make the rules. That's just what happens. Yeah, look, it's just hilarious. I don't have a problem with this happening. I definitely don't have a problem with her clapping back. Look, don't take that shit. If I was in Congress and she said some shit like that to me, look, I'd be like, listen, I'm going to need a minute so I don't say something that's going to get me fucking censured in Congress. But yeah, no, it's unacceptable. And you only said that shit because she's a black woman. Let's get
the part that we missed, the part that wasn't part of this is that before she shouted back and before Comer made the unwise decision to not get his house in order, quite literally, AOC made the statement to Marjorie Taylor Greene she's like, how fucking dare you make a comment about her personal appearance, and Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, oh, did it hurt your feelings? So sorry, that kind of shit. So just and again, if you're James Comer, if you don't get that shit in line,
oh well,
you get what you get. This is a absolutely foreseeable outcome if you were any sort of competent chairman of this committee. But we've seen through your continued work that you're not. Again, the whole premise of the hearing they were in, by the way, is the oversight committee trying to hold Merrick Garland in contempt for not coming to testify before the Oversight Committee about the Robert Hur special counsel investigation, even though, as Dan Goldman correctly pointed out, the Oversight Committee has no oversight over the Department of Justice. The Judicial Committee does, but the Oversight Committee does not. And the only reason that Comer was trying to hold this gambit in the first place, they were trying to find Garland in contempt of Congress, is because he's trying to scrounge whatever victory he can out of their misguided, and that's a generous term, Biden impeachment inquiry.
Yep. Yeah, they're just hunting at this point. Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, no one paying attention should be surprised by that, right? And that's sort of, I think it was like the Republic or something had an article where AOC basically kind of let that go. It's like, listen, that's the real reason all this shit is happening, right? Like, we shouldn't even be here. This is nonsense. But they're just hunting for something because of the failed impeachment. It's 100% correct. All right, so all right, let's get into the shit, Brad. Donald Trump suggests he could maybe be a three-term president at an NRA convention. Maybe I'll just stay longer. Is that cool? Trump suggested that he could go down in history as a three-term president during a National Rifle Association event over the weekend. FDR, quote, FDR, 16 years, almost 16 years. He was four-term. I don't know. Are we going to be considered three-term or two-term? You tell me. And a person who didn't understand the Constitution shouted, three! Are we three-term or two-term if we win? He asked again. Here's the thing. You can't be, though. That's not how the Constitution works.
You could be if you just ignore the Constitution, Jay. Do we need a Constitution anymore?
I hear the Constitution pretty passe, honestly.
After all, it was reported that in the Trump Bible that Trump sent out that also had copies of the Constitution Declaration of Independence, they selectively left out certain amendments like the 14th Amendment, which, ended slavery in this country, or the 19th.
But it also makes sure that, what is it, that you're basically if you're born here, like you're on
birthright citizenship. Yes,
that I think has much more to do with why that was 100%.
And they also got rid of and it also omitted the FDR amendment as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
So this is the new Constitution. We're just getting rid of amendments. That's how it works. Just get rid of them.
Yep. And you're allowed to do that. You don't even need to do what is that stupid thing they call it? Like constitutional convention? We haven't seen one of those in forever. We don't even know what that is anymore.
Ratifying? Fuck off. States, votes? Nah, who needs it? Again, not trying to get on a soapbox, but he's literally not even elected. And this guy's like, maybe I'll just do 3 terms. You still think this is a fucking joke? You still think it's a joke? Okay. Again,
I mean, look,
believe
he would
people
try
when they tell you who they are.
He would try because again,
1,000%.
we've never had a Raptor test the fence before. It's not like when Bill Clinton was in 2020 and he was just like, I might run again. We've never seen what happens when a president's just like, actually, I will just run. Because I don't know what the guardrails are. How are you going to stop him?
Right.
Who's going to stop him?
I mean, here's the thing. You could run again, but you would be technically, by the Constitution, you're ineligible to become president.
To sit, yeah. You're ineligible to sit.
Like an 18-year-old could run for president, but even if they were elected, by the people, you wouldn't, it'd have to be a write-in because they wouldn't put you on the fucking ballot. But if there was a write-in campaign for Justin Bieber or whatever, I think he's.
Yeah, but do you think a ruby red
he wouldn't be allowed.
State? You think a ruby red state's not going to put Trump on the ballot, even though he's already done?
Of course they will.
Of course they will. Again, it also says in the Constitution that you're not allowed to engage in an insurrection and hold office, but that didn't stop the Supreme Court from being like, it doesn't really say that. Can we really restrict him from being on the ballot?
What's an insurrection really?
Yeah.
Don't go to my house and look at my flag that says stop this.
More to go.
More on that later. Jesus Christ. That guy sucks. But yeah, look, it's you should take this guy at his word. Everybody who is a Republican often did the thing in 2016, and I see them doing it again. He's just kidding. He's just kidding. He's just kidding. He's not kidding. He's not kidding at all. And look, the funniest thing happened to me last night, right before I went to bed. I was reading on Reddit about it was basically about the college, Gaza protests, right? And this person they were like, listen, don't kill the messenger. I'm just telling you, I've gone to a number of these protests, and here is what a lot of these young people are saying, right? And it was like, well, we're not going to vote for Biden because genocide Joe or whatever, fucking nonsense, right? And I say nonsense is just because I think that's a very juvenile way of looking at a very complex issue, right? And so I responded, I got about 2 sentences into my response, and I was like, Now, normally if I write what I really feel about this topic, I'm going to get downvoted into oblivion, right? So let me temper this or whatever. And I got about 2 sentences into my very tempered response, and I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm getting ready to go to bed. Let's rock and roll. I'm just going to write what the fuck I really feel, right? And because at the end of his thing, he was like, they feel like no vote shaming is going to change their mind. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I was like, this is not about vote shaming. This is, and I quite literally wrote this is a fuck you, right? And I went into my, very similar to my screed last week, about how I'm not interested in trying to change your mind. I'm interested in calling out your bullshit, right? And, if you're not willing to raise a finger to stop fascism, yada, 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 fuck you. That's my point, right? And at the end I said, I welcome my downvotes. And I woke up this morning, I was like, oh, this is how many negative votes? I woke up and it was 275 positives, and they were like, no, I actually agree with you. I was like, what is happening? I was like, yes, good. And people were honest, listen, we're not going to do this thing that we did in 2016. Even people were like, yeah, I didn't vote in 2016 because of the whole Hillary thing. I really, really regret that. It's yeah, this is called growth. We cannot pick a topic and then just turn the fuck off, right? And look, this issue, and again, I don't want to reiterate what I said last week. I'm sure I will over the next couple of months, but this guy is telling you, he's not kidding. He's telling you that they're going to try to go for a third term. It's not, because look, he said it when he was president. Well, it's not really fair that I don't get another full term because they went after me this whole time. One, not how the fucking presidency works. Oh, people criticize me. I get a mulligan. No, that's not.
Yeah, what the fuck is that, by the way? Bill Clinton spent 2 years of his second term under investigation. Does that mean we get to let Bill Clinton hang out for 2 more years to make up for those 2 years?
No, he should get a full mulligan.
Another term. Okay,
he gets another term, right? Obama, why doesn't he get a third term? Why not? Right? So it's nonsense. But he's telling you, he is saying the quiet part out loud. Pay attention. This shit is not a game. It's not a joke, right? If he is allowed to get in, you will never have a fair election in your lifetime. You won't. You won't, because it'll be him, and when he dies off, it'll be one of his shitbird kids or something, or some other shitbird in the Republican Party who pushes their way in, a VP or something like that. This is a disaster.
Yeah, that's the thing that you have to remember, is that the first time around, he tried to put serious people in who were going to keep him from doing the most repugnant shit possible. He still had to win votes because, he wanted to win re-election. And so he had to temper some of his more insidious impulses.
Right.
This time around, dude's got nothing to lose. If he doesn't get to have another term in office, oh, well, he wasn't supposed to anyway. Oh, we're going to put the shittiest fucking people possible and take massive swings at this giant piñata that we call democracy while he's there. What's the worst that can happen to me? It's not it's not like I could be convicted. I'll just make sure that all these cases and prosecutions and shit like that go away while I'm sitting in office.
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, if you want to see the YOLO presidency, by all means, abstain, stay home, find an excuse to not vote for Joe Biden in November.
See what happens to you.
Yeah,
like I mean, the idea that, and I sent it to you. You saw that. I had that conversation with that sort of like accelerationist, and they're like, yeah, I think, and this is like beyond naive to me, beyond naive. They're like, yeah, I think Trump should get elected, and then everyone will get in the streets and we'll fight and get a real democracy. I'm like, dude, 1 million people died under Trump, and people didn't get in the streets and fight against it. Americans are unbelievably lazy. Okay, they are. And Americans have been subjected to the frog in the pot boiling scenario for decades, by the way, not just at Trump's behest, but since the 80s, really, right? Like, it has just gotten exponentially worse. They don't realize how bad, the average person does not realize how bad it's gotten. And I don't mean like the economy, I don't agree with one guy over the other. I mean like your rights being stripped away and things like that. They don't understand how bad they've gotten. But they will notice when Trump, if he, God forbid, is reelected. You will notice, because there will be parts of the Constitution just destroyed. Just destroyed. I watched somebody on, it was like a TikTok live or something like that. A conservative was calling in to talk to this like liberal guy. And the liberal guy's like, dude, he said he wanted to be a dictator on day one. And the guy's like, I don't believe that. That's bullshit. You're making it up. I'm like, one, you're defending a guy. You're not even paying attention to this shit. Like, that's, to me, is crazy, right? And he's like, dude, I'll play it for you. He's like, go ahead, play it for me. Like, I'm going to fucking show you, liberal. He fucking played it on his phone and he played the quote in context. And he was like, he was joking. That's clear that he was joking. I'm like, bro, your thought process is so poor that when someone is literally quoting, he is literally saying the thing that this guy just told you he said. You don't believe it. So in this case, please believe it. He's not kidding about going for a third term. Please don't believe that the United States will be able to hold those guardrails.
You literally have states that are actively making moves to try to restrict the ability of people to organize and protest in the streets. You don't think that's going to get accelerated nationally? You don't think that if we start seeing demonstrations, that Trump's not going to declare a national state of emergency to give him leeway to deploy the National Guard?
He already said that he wanted to. He's already been on record as saying that he wanted to use the Insurrectionist Act to put the National Guard in the streets and to shoot citizens. Right? People who have worked for him have confirmed that. That's not me saying that. That's not Brad saying that. That's people who work for him who were like, yeah, this is the guy. And then he said that they're like, I got to get out of here. Right? Like these are people who work for him who have said that, who have confirmed those things.
And not just like rank and file people, like the former Secretary of Defense.
Yes.
Said this.
Right. You know, classic sellouts of the American Constitution. Right? That's what they said. Please believe that he's not kidding about this shit he's saying at this NRA convention. He's not joking. He may be saying in a jovial way, like, I don't know, guys, what do you think? He's not fucking kidding. He's very serious. Believe people when they tell you who they are. 100%. So, don't be an accelerationist. Like, that's a stupid, stupid way to be.
Well,
it'll all be great if we all get out into the streets. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, it's like I said to you. It's the strategy of let's burn down the kingdom so that we can roll over the ashes. Like that's basically like what you're striving to do.
Yeah, so. And by the way, when you go to burn down the kingdom, you're gonna get shot in the fucking head. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. The kingdom will be fine. Like the kingdom will be fine. You will be dead, and all the people who agree with you will be dead.
Yeah,
the kingdom itself will be
again. Kyle Rittenhouse got acquitted, man. Like, there's going to be a whole bunch of Kyle Rittenhouses out on the fucking street standing 100%. Up for their man this time around. You kidding me?
Yeah. What's the name? Greg Abbott just pardoned the guy in Texas who killed a Black Lives Matter protester. Yeah. What do you think happens? What do you think happens in 2025, if that psychopath is reelected and he has no onus to anybody. None. Because at least in the first 4 years, you have the onus of, I got to get reelected. I don't got to do shit. Again, like you said, if he doesn't even give a fuck to get reelected, he just fucking just go for broke. Or he just tries to stay in longer and just goes for broke. What's the worst that can happen to him? He'd be 185 fucking years old. If he tries and fails, all right, they arrest him. He'd probably get off, right?
Hey, the country's in a state of turmoil right now. We might have a civil war. It's not a good idea to change presidents right now. Yep. So I should be able to stay longer.
Yeah.
We've seen it before. We've
Giuliani tried to do
seen it before.
Right. What did Giuliani do in 9/11? Giuliani did that in 9/11. Oh, the city is under the city is in major turmoil. Maybe I should just stay mayor. And people were like, no, nice try. But he tried that shit. He tried it. And like, luckily, the guardrails, and I mean, he didn't push that hard on it, but he did push that shit. He was like, maybe. And they were like,
but again,
go fuck off.
If Trump has Congress, you will have people in Congress be like, yeah, he should stick around. Like, we need a stable hand at the wheel. Fuck the Constitution. We don't the framers couldn't have anticipated the state that this country is in right now. Yeah. They would have wanted this.
Yeah, they would have wanted a king. That's exactly what we fought for. Yeah. So that idea that this is a joke or whatever, no, it's not a joke to me. It's very fucking serious, and it should be taken very seriously. So, yikes. All right. Biden challenges and Trump accepts a couple of debates. Brad, do you want to take this story? This is awesome.
Yeah, this is interesting. So, like, Trump has been out there, debate me, bro, Joe Biden for quite some time, since he's been the de facto nominee, and since both of them have gotten it sewn up, because Trump seems to think that for some reason he'll run circles around Joe Biden in a debate, which seems suspect rationale, but that's where his mindset is. That's where he's coming from right now.
A counter to what reality is? Sure.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, Joe Biden came out last week and challenged Trump to 2 debates, neither of which are going to be managed by the Bipartisan Presidential Debate Commission, who has basically been the managers of every presidential debate to this point. Instead, these are being independently organized by the candidates, and they're also happening earlier than presidential debates usually do. The first debate, and Trump has accepted this, by the way, the first debate is going to be Wednesday, June 27th on CNN. And then there'll be a second debate on September 10th on ABC. So again, earlier than they ever are. There's some interesting strategy that's being bandied about why Biden wanted these dates specifically. I also found it really funny that Trump, I guess because he'd been pounding his chest for so long, immediately agreed to all of the rules that the Biden campaign laid out. Yeah, so basically they got to choose the networks. They got to choose the moderators. It's not going to be in front of an audience, which I fucking love. That's literally my favorite fucking rule.
It's my second favorite. Go ahead.
What's the first favorite?
Go ahead. Keep reading the rules.
Oh no, that's all I had. Is there something? Is there something that I missed?
From my understanding, the microphones will automatically shut off when it's not your time to talk.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's my favorite.
That is awesome.
Because look, here's the thing. People think that the people who think Trump wins debates, what's a nice way to say this? Collective mental illness is real. Okay, that's insane to me. It's
funny,
but it's only because he interrupts and blusters. That's it.
Well,
it's not based on any facts.
So here's what's funny. Historically, when an incumbent president is running, the first debate typically goes poorly. Famously, it happened with Obama and Romney, where Obama got his ass kicked by Mitt Romney in that first debate. It happened with George Bush and John Kerry. It happened with Bill Clinton and Bob Dole. And the reason why is because the president has been running the fucking country, and has not been able to practice debate prep. Meanwhile, the Republican the nominee of the opposing party has just run through a debate fucking gauntlet,
right?
In the primary. So they they're already sharp and used to debating, whereas the president has to come up to speed and doesn't really have a lot of time to do it. But here's the funny thing: Trump loses that advantage because the last time he debated was against Joe Biden because he declined to participate in any of the fucking debates in the primary.
Yep. You big dumbass.
Yeah.
Look, if I'm being honest, I think Trump is scared to debate Joe Biden. I think he is.
I will do you one better. I know that he is because immediately after it was announced that Trump accepted this, Laura Trump went on TV and was trying to like pump up Biden. Basically, like they weren't trying to be like, you know, oh, like it's, you know, like they're not trying to like call him like a brain-addled idiot. They're like, oh, you know, he got to handpick the moderators and the networks that it's on, and he has an advantage and all. Like they're trying to already kind of set the bar at the point where it's like, oh, like it's in the bag for him.
Like,
so.
Bro, like the moderator doesn't matter anymore. It could be quite literally a fucking howler monkey from one of your Republican districts. If you're just asking questions, right? Now, the problem is when Fox News does it, they try to be like combative. I'm like, just ask the question.
That was another funny part, by the way. Like after they agreed to these two, Donald Trump was like, oh, like let's do a third one on Fox on October 8th. And Biden's like, I'm good, bro. Thanks. I'm okay.
Eat a dick.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The moderator doesn't matter anymore, and that's Republicans' fault. And the number one reason why is because, what was it, Candy Crowley destroyed the Romney campaign with that one fact check during that Obama-Romney debate, right? Where he was like, you know, Obama didn't say they were terrorists. It wasn't a terrorist attack after Benghazi. And Obama's like, bro, I did literally the next day in the Rose Garden. He was like, that you didn't say it. You didn't say it. And that's the famous, please proceed, Governor. And he was like, you didn't say it. You know you didn't say it. Blah, blah. And Candy Crowley was like, we went to the tape and he said that shit. Here's the transcript. And Republicans' response to that wasn't, God damn it, we fucked up. It was, stop telling the American public the truth. We don't have time for that. Moderators are no longer allowed to fact check in real time. That quite literally, I'm not making that up. That was their response. No longer will these things be fact checked.
Which is why they're going outside of the one of the reasons I think they're going outside of the commission.
Yeah,
for this as well.
And look, I think they should be fact checked. And this is going to sound like a really weird thing, and I don't think this should be used now. But I think in the future, maybe that's in 5 years or 8 years or 10 years, this shit should be fact checked in real time by AI, right? Like it should be able to discern, like, no, like, of course you got to like check AI and make sure like, oh, is that actually correct? But that shit should be fact checked by AI. When they say something, there should be a scroll on the bottom. Not fucking true, bro. Community notes. This is a goddamn lie. Like for both sides, American public should be able to watch and go, hey, he didn't. That's not true what he said. Like, oh, Obama didn't say that. It should just come up and be like, actually, Obama said that on blah, 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 the day after the Benghazi in the Rose Garden during this speech. Here's a link to watch the video. Like, it should just be that fucking instant. That's where you could use AI to do some really serious things. By the way, I forgot to put a story about AI up on the docket. It's actually really interesting to happen this week with government. But, yeah, look, I'm glad that he's agreeing to these debates. He is not. At this point, I don't think he's showing up to these debates. I think this is all a bunch of bluster.
You think so? Interesting. Okay.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't think that's going to go well for him if he.
The mics are going to be off.
No, after he accepted it, it would look really bad if he decided to back out all of a sudden.
He always looks bad. Who the fuck? He doesn't give a shit about that. He's just going to say it's rigged, and his diaper wearing fucking fan base will be like, I just pooped in my pants. Yeah, he's right about that. Yeah. Now
you may be curious. Is it just Trump and Biden, or is RFK going to be invited to these debates as well? Oh. And CNN laid out their criteria, and ABC said they would probably have something very similar, where in order to qualify, you have to be at 15% or higher in 4 reputable national polls. And you have to be on the ballot in enough states to equal up to 270 electoral votes. And currently Kennedy is not over either qualification.
Yeah,
at this point in time.
And I think that, by the way, I think that's fair. I think it's fair.
Yep.
I don't think that's a problem at all. Look, as we discussed last week, Kennedy has brainworms. Why are we even having a conversation about that guy being president? Sorry.
I do also have to give Joe Biden or his speechwriters some props because in challenging Trump, he went on to he did it in I think a tweet. So I'll quote him verbatim. The end of this is a great burn coming from him. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020, and since then he hasn't shown up for a debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates. Donald, I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Yeah, buddy. I love that. I love that video. That was great. Look, that's the kind of dickhead thing you need to be doing, right? Like, yeah, bring it on, motherfucker. Like, bring it on. Joe Biden, look, again, we've said this many times. He's definitely lost speed on that fastball, but he used to be a brutal fucking debater, man. Like, he was very, very good. And again, being a little bit older, he's not a bad debater. Like, he's still not a bad debater. He was still able to handle all the Democrats in that fucking murderer's row of a primary, right? Like, he was going up against some people who did some real damage. Now, granted, I think people saw him as the most moderate choice and everything else, which helps him. But he held his own. He held his own. Even after Kamala Harris fucking lit his ass on fire in that first debate. It's like, that little black girl was me, Joe. And he was like, fuck, it was her.
Oh, they made up. Yeah, at the end of the day.
She fucking, and look, I bet a little bit of him was like, damn, that was actually pretty good. Like she fucking torched his ass in that first debate. And like, it helped her get noticed, right? And look, you need a little bit of that. You need a little bit of that brutality. I am very curious to see who wins the Veepstakes. It would be fun to watch Kamala Harris debate Tim Scott, though, because Tim Scott is a buffoon. He's a fucking buffoon. And
I'm trying to think of who the best debater would be of all the people that are up there.
The best debater.
I don't.
JD Vance got his ass kicked pretty soundly in his debates, if I recall.
Doug Burgum, I don't know because he didn't talk a lot during the Republican primary debates, so I don't really know what his. I would imagine he's a decent debater if he won a governorship 2 times. So
sure, let's go with that. Is Marjorie Taylor Greene, is she still in the running?
No, God, no. God, that would be embarrassing for her if she had to debate Kamala Harris. It wouldn't be fair.
It wouldn't be. I'd love to see it. He's like, I do CrossFit. Like, yeah, I know you've said that 17 times.
I do hope that Trump picks somebody insane though, just so that we can watch Kamala Harris be like I don't even need a fly to land on your stupid head to like before with you in this debate.
Oh my God, that's right. The Mike Pence thing. It was just like, he's not moving because he's a robot. Oh my God. The power of Christ compels me. Yeah, no, that's just crazy. I don't know who he's going to pick. I really don't. I mean, I guess it's at this point it's got to be Tim Scott's got to be like top 2 at that point. Like, he has to be.
Oh yeah. I think he's always going to be the de facto one of the finalists. Yeah. I just don't know who the other finalist will be that Trump will ultimately pick at the end of the day. Because he thinks Tim Scott is weird. So
yeah, well. He's weird. Trump's not wrong about that. Look, man, I still put I got a dark horse candidate, and any of his kids, like honestly, any of his kids. It's like, oh, Veepstakes, oh, Ivanka, oh my God, it's Ivanka's music. Like,
I would love it only to see the intellectual gymnastics that Republicans would have to attempt to do to justify it.
We can't have Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton be president. That's a dynasty. Oh, Ivanka. Oh my God, you're so brilliant.
from the family that bought you two different generations of Bush families on the other side of, or from the party that brought you two Bushes on the other side of a Democratic presidency.
Yeah, exactly. Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Okay, that's the end of the free portion for this week's episode of Look Forward. Make sure you go to lookforwardshow.com/premium. Sign up for premium content. It's only $5 a month or $50 for the full year.